Thank you. Thank you so much, Jillian Siegel. Your word touched every word you just said. I'm really touched from your speech. Thank you for the kind word about me and my work. Thank you, Michelle Bloom, my dear friend, the AICC, which we worked together for the past few years. Thank you, Commonwealth Bank. Thank you for this audience here to share, to hear our work. I was supposed to be here physically, as you know, and we had to cancel it due to the harsh, heartbreaking war we are having here in Israel. Our hearts are broken. Jillian described it much better than I am now. I've been asked, so I will say shortly, we are not okay. I know also that in Australia, we are so appreciate your everything you do, that you stand with Israel, your initiative, the AICC initiative. I know Jewish communities around the world and Australia are also worried. Some of them are experiencing harsh things also in your country. My story started from a personal story. My sister, Michal, this is my young sister, Michal. She was brutally murdered by her husband 4 years ago on October 2019. She was 32, social worker, and they were married only 1 year, and she wanted to break up with him that night. I was the last person to see her alive. I was a witness in her murder trial. We didn't see anything. And 6 months after the murder, on April 2022, and on April 2020, I built the Michal Sela Forum. It's an NGO, which our goal is to prevent domestic violence, to prevent femicide, to save lives of women and children in their own home, and to do it with innovation. The goal I put was to recruit the high-tech industry, also the senior industry in Israel and in the world, and experts from Homeland Security and experts from domestic violence to sit together and develop new solutions, innovative solutions, technology solutions to do prevention, prediction, to save lives. I found that the patterns of the violence towards women in their own home are the same patterns everywhere. The language of the domestic violence is international language. The way the aggressor behave, like snooping on your phone, trying to control you. The way the victim behave, that she's silenced, that she's afraid to share, that she's going away from her relatives. The statistics, for example, all over the world, we saw on COVID-19, there is rise of domestic violence. On holidays, there is rise of domestic violence. During times like now, war in Israel, when many people are inside their home, there is a rise of domestic violence. Or when there is changes, a new baby, moving to another apartment, rise of domestic violence. It's all over the world, same patterns. And one more pattern that if you remember it, you can save lives yourself. If in a relationship there is obsessiveness, never break up by yourself. You should consult a domestic violence expert. Why? Because the pattern is that women that been murdered by their partner, it happened when she's trying to break up with him. So never break up by yourself when there is obsessive jealousy in relationship. Another pattern. When we have pattern, we can do prediction. We can do prevention. I found out that until the murder of my sister Michal, the solutions were only after something very bad happened, like shelters, like going to the police and get a restraining order, or welfare centers for preventing domestic violence. All 3 solutions is only after something very, very bad happened. My sister, there was no physical violence. Half of the victim of femicide, there is no physical violence before the murder, but there are other signs, other red lights, and it's always the same red lights. When he's trying to control you, trying to know every minute of the day where you are, what you're doing, spying after you. This is red lights. And emotional violence, like gaslighting, making you small, etc. We mapped all the red lights with experts. This was one of our first projects. And after mapping them, we start building tech solutions to each one of those red lights. How do we do it and what do we do? We have an annual cycle of tech programs, which the goal is to create a global new ecosystem of safe tech, an ecosystem, a new vertical of technologies. Our goal is until 2030 to have 100 startups in the field of domestic violence. We are building this new ecosystem. When we started, we mapped the field and we found out that the field of domestic violence, the tools are pretty primitive. Most people are handling with domestic violence are social workers or the police, and they're handling putting the fire down. So we want to take it one step backwards and to prevent it. So we brought to the table the high-tech industry and Homeland Security, and we are using their knowledge and we bring it to the domestic violence field. So in order to create this new ecosystem of safe tech, safe at home, it's also relevant today with what happened here in Israel to be safe at home. In order to build it, we build this yearly program, cycle technology program. We start with our hackathon each year on my sister's birthday on May with the president of Israel inside the president's home. We did it 4 times already. Each year we're holding the biggest tech engineer contest in the world for developing technology to prevent domestic violence. This contest, we call it Michal Sela Safe at Home Hackathon. You can see a picture. This is an example for one picture of our hackathon. We have so far 592 tech ideas that were invented on our hackathons, and we had more than 4,000 engineers, tech engineers, participating on our hackathons. In this competition, people, we give them the challenges of domestic violence, and we do the competition with prizes, fun, and they, the entrepreneurs that participate in the competition, they invent ideas and they win prizes. Also, we have a Michal Sela Startup Academy. This is an accelerator after the hackathon. And the rooftop, Michal Sela Rooftop, which is another program for our alumni, our entrepreneurs, where we help them to take their idea, to take their startup another step forward. I call you. We would love to have collaboration with Australia, with the industry, maybe by pilots, by investment in our startups, and to make it fit to Australia citizens as well. We also develop in Michal Sela Forum 2 protection innovative solution on women. Right now, we are protecting 222 threatened women. Our solution is an alternative for shelter. Instead of this woman to hide in a shelter with her children, she can keep on with her life. One solution, we give her a canine, protection canine, becomes a family member, and he's trained, and also we give her a training, and she received the canine for life, for protection. And our second program for protection is Michal's Watch, where we put private security company in her home with camera and panic button and security guard. So I'm happy to tell you that those two solutions, where we do it with research that accompany each and every woman, we see that their personal safety feeling in their own home, feeling security, is going up. Also, the threats that she received from her partner, it's only women that doesn't live with a threatening party. They are single moms, but they have history of threats and violence. So you see the threats going down, the violence going down. It's very exciting, and it's a proof we can eliminate domestic violence. This is the vision. The vision is that domestic violence will be history, like other hard human phenomena we had in history, and they vanished. So this phenomena also will be vanished. Today, on your table, you can find a flyer, contact information with us, with me. Also, I would love to hear from you. We are looking for partnership. We're looking for investors in our entrepreneurs. We have a booklet of all our startups. You can look, you can ask, you can learn about our startups, our tech solutions, and maybe you want to help us build this new ecosystem of technology to save lives. We also offer you to join us on our next hackathon that will be held on May. We're looking for partners to make our hackathon international. Please, you're welcome to contact me and join us. And if you want, I can also give some examples for our startups that we developed in Michal Sela Forum. I invite you to join us and make femicide history. Thank you.
Should I sit up there?
Yeah.
I have a screen. Should I use this? No? Sure. Okay, there it is. So, Lili, thank you so much. Can I follow up with the invitation you just issued to give us some examples of some of the startups that the Michal Sela Forum has actually initiated and has birthed, and what their trajectory is, and whether you're looking for funding for them or whether they are fully funded and where they're heading, and just sort of give us a flavour of all of that.
Thank you, thank you very much for asking me that question. I will tell you, I'll give you 3 examples. I can give more. First is Rely On AI. This is the first AI voice activated platform solution for personal safety. The app uses code words to define in advance. You can use code word, and the app calls for your safety people in advance. You put your safety people in the app, and the app, it's like a panic button with using your voice without touching your phone. The phone can be in the kitchen, you can be in the living room, you're saying this code word, and the app sends text message, location to your safety people. You can also connect the app to a security private company if you want, but also send the records. This app could save my sister because she was at home when it happened, and he took her phone. It was away from her, but it happened at home. She couldn't call me. I live 2 minutes from her. And they found her body only 17 hours after the murder. So if Michal could say, if she had this app, she could say a safety word, the app would silently, it's also hidden in your phone, it would send me, a friend, call for help, and we can come and save her. This is a patented technology. They already had a grant of $500,000 from the Israel Innovation Authority, and they already have paying design partners and paying customers. They're seeking for a $1.5 million safe investment. This is one app. Another technology solution that was developed in Michal Sela Forum is Protect Me. Protect Me, it's an innovative self-defense tool designed for women. It's a patented smart pepper gas. It's a canister with a spray ring. It's designed to prevent real-time emergency. You put the spray gas in your hand, but it's a ring. And when you point your fist, the ring spray the gas to the attacker. And the patent is that you can't take it from your hand. It's designed for women. We are maybe weaker physically, so attacker can take away from us the spray. So in this spray, he can't take away from you because it's connected to a ring. And she's seeking for $1 million safe investment. Third technology idea is the capsule. It's a smart system for detecting serial offender. It's a smart algorithm that looks for overlaps in data. It allows victims to put their story in the app. It's encrypted, and it's encrypted into a capsule, but it knows to identify the overlaps. It was built with elite legal experts in the field of privacy and ethics. The attacker of my sister, 6 of his ex-girlfriend, they came after the murder to the police to say what he did. He had no criminal record before. They never filed a complaint, but the capsule could save my sister because each attacker, which is a lethal attacker, like the murder of my sister, he always have a past, a history of victims. So the capsule is using this intelligence information to find those attacker. And if it finds a serial attacker, it asks the victims, do you want together to join hands and file a complaint? She's looking for $250,000 safe investment.
Thank you. So these have been developed as a result of the hackathons and then trialed or patented, but they're not yet fully operational, right? They're still looking for further funding to turn them into commercial reality. Is that right?
Partly. The first one, Rely On, is already on the shelf. You can find it in the App Store, and it's working. They have collaboration with security companies, with governments, municipalities that give it to their citizens. But she's still a startup. She's still looking for investors. The other two I just described are still being developed.
So the first one, if we take the first one, are there any resulting case studies where there's evidence that the use of the app and the code word has actually saved lives, and then the person has left the home safely and gone to a shelter or elsewhere?
She's still having the research with it's still in pilots. So there's nothing that was published yet because it's the first year that she has paying customers. But if there's anyone in the audience that is interested, I can connect you to the entrepreneur, and we also can send you written information about the results. But I can tell you that the government of Israel, the Ministry of Welfare, and the police in Israel are collaborating with this app. And also in Michal Sela Forum, we are planning in 2024, we raised money to give it to our 222 women that we are protecting. So the number of victims that this app is protecting will be increased. But still, we are seeking for the first believers in this safe tech world. We are creating a new ecosystem. Investors, the regular investors, they don't know this field of domestic violence and technology. So you can say that most, maybe all of our solutions, also our K9, also Michal's watch, it's all new solutions. What we're doing here in Israel, it's innovative in the global scale. If you look at the all over the world on solutions for domestic violence, you see everywhere there are shelters, everywhere there is police solutions, like restraining orders, and everywhere there is the welfare. But the tech solution, the innovative solution, this field is very, very, very small.
Yeah, no, and
now I get information that about your question, that she had 11 life-saving cases they rely on.
Fantastic. I mean, to me, that sounds like an amazing app that seems so simple and yet so useful. Can I just understand from you, for an investor in these apps, global investor, if somebody wanted to invest or a corporation wanted to invest to continue the development of one of these initiatives, to grow it, to further commercialize it, what sort of returns could an investor look at? I mean, are they all different? We've sort of understood that the Innovation Authority, of course, takes the first risk, has invested the first amount of money, but are these offering commercial returns, high-risk returns, or are they more of the nature of a sort of a philanthropic investment in something that's so worthwhile? Can you just give us a flavour for where you think they fall on the spectrum? We have the concept of, social impact investment. Are they social impact investments where, of course, they're having a fantastic impact, but is there a commercial return as well to an investor, or are they really thinking about just investing for the benefit of humanity or female humanity?
It's a great question. When we talk about domestic violence or about women issues, they immediately take it to femtech or to impact. And I think that this is part of the problem. I think that you can see that women issues are pretty left behind compared to where the humanities succeeded to go through. For example, commercials, they know to predict human behaviors, human wants, or Homeland Security is very advanced. Israel is the startup nation. The technology is very advanced. But when you look at the women issues, you see these fields usually don't use progressed technologies and innovation, and there is when I talk in many fields, people think that we are going to impact NGOs, and we tell all our entrepreneurs, we are talking about a new world. We want you to be companies, businesses, for profit. Maybe you can call it impact because we save lives, but also in the field of Homeland Security, they save lives. And I don't see all those, security guards and men developing all these technologies. People don't usually put them with the impact industry. So I wish that the world and the investors and the community we're creating right now will be part of safe at home, safe tech, business industry, not necessarily the impact or NGOs world. Specifically, I'll tell you about our startups. They are all looking for investors for options. And it's, business conversation, 100% business. Yes, there is some kind of impact because, as I said, we're looking for the first believers. There is a gamble here, okay, for the investors. Probably a big gamble because we're building a new ecosystem. But this is how, revolution starts. And I know we're going to get there. I know we're going to get to this new world of where women can be safe in their home, also outside of their home, with technology. Yeah. And we want to do it with the tools of the business sector. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I will also say that we also in Michal Sela Forum are the rooftop programs we're having. It's our alumni, our startups that we're helping them. We sign a warrant agreement with them and a finder fee agreement with them. So if we succeed to bring them an investor, so a percentage can go back to the NGO, to Michal Sela Forum, so we can help another startups. And if they succeed with the warrant, we will have options.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Can I ask one more question, and then I'm going to ask if there are any particular questions from anyone on the floor you'd like me to pass through. But you hinted at this at the beginning when you said, you know, obviously everyone in Israel is not all right, but with people at home because of the war and having to stay at home and not go about their normal business, have you seen a significant uptick in domestic violence?
Yes. The answer is yes. There is a rise of domestic violence during the war. I mean, where there is violence, homes, the violence going up, more extreme during the war. We had last week a murder. A woman was murdered by her boyfriend, and another woman survived the murder last week. And parallel, in this time in Israel, our government is encouraging civilians to take guns. They took the restraining for guns down, so more people can have guns and protect themselves in their own home. And when you're bringing more guns into homes, it might get to the wrong hands. So in this week, Michal Sela Forum is addressing the Ministry of Interior Defense, which in charge of the weapon in Israel. And we wrote to the minister, and he wrote us back. We said that we are not against weapon in general. Weapon can save lives. We saw it on October 7th. Weapon can save lives, but the government in the new policy that made the restriction lower now, they should make sure that people with background of domestic violence won't receive weapon. And we are participating every day today with conversation with the government to make sure that the weapon won't get to the wrong hands, because there is a rise of domestic violence these days, and women are calling us. Threatened women are calling us, and they're saying, my ex-husband, he sent a request to get a weapon, and he's threatening me. He threatened me that he will hit me. So sometimes the police doesn't have this information. And one of the solutions, we said that the police should have an intelligence information, so victims of domestic violence can give information without being identified. And the police can use it as intelligence. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But sometimes you can get a whole picture from the neighbor, from the employee, from the partner, and maybe you can file a profile, and maybe you can, I don't know, use the tools they have today for other fields, like, you know, catching drugs deals with intelligence information, or preventing terror with intelligence information. We can use intelligence information also to save lives of women in their own homes.
Yep, fine. So are there any questions that anyone at the audience would like to raise? Yeah, please. Oh, great.
Hi, it's Gabrielle Upton. Thank you so much for the presentation today, and for you, Jill. I just wanted to raise the issue of sexual assaults on university campuses, which is a big topic of conversation at the moment from our federal government. And when you were talking, it made me think about the cross applications of some of the technologies you have onto campuses. Of course, campuses are a microcosm of the broader community and of homes. But I wondered how much some of the technologies that you've talked about tonight would have application on small communities like universities, which might have 40,000 students, for example, or 80,000 people, where it would be out of a domestic setting. But it seems to me some of the technologies you're developing could have that application, which is where Australia has a lot of political focus at the moment.
So thank you for asking. All three solutions I just presented you can be applied in universities. The capsule, for example, it helps to detect a serial attacker in the campus. And the one that can have the information is the university itself. It can imply the capsule inside the university website. So students, maybe professors can put information into the capsule about violent people they endured or encountered. And the university might find the same attacker that attacked a few people, and they can address the people that filed the complaint to ask to file the information to the capsule to see if they can file a complaint to the police, and then you can catch the attacker. We had a case like this in Israel. The name is Alon Castiel. A few women applied information about him attacking them sexually. He raped and he abused few women sexually, but they didn't file a complaint in the police. They told it to an app, and the app identifies same person. And then they call those women. They ask, "Do you want to gather together to file together a complaint?" And when you're a group, for the victim, it's easier. And they did it, and this man got in jail. So the capsule can help campuses. And also when there is an emergency. So we have the Protect Me. This is, by the way, the picture of the pepper gas. You know, if the university can give those pepper gas to women, or to in cases that there's someone that you're afraid, maybe parents can give it to their students, and you can, when you walk outside, you can hold it in your hand and nobody can take it. And also rely on, as I said, rely on is you can ask for help only with a code word. So you can call the campus police. You know, it can call the campus police. Someone feel unsafe. So they say the code word, the campus police immediately get the GPS, the location, and they can come and make sure everything is okay.
Thank you. Elizabeth Koff, Telstra Health, but leader of the delegation in 2019 to Israel. So I just want to extend my really sympathies for what's going on. There can be no other description, but say how inspiring our delegation was in the medtech space then. I'm now with Telstra Health, and we run the 1-800 Respect line for Australia. Not many people seem to realise that, and I don't know whether we need to publicise it, but the Commonwealth Government 1-800 Respect line is the call for emergency help for domestic violence, and also has aspirations to extend into the sexual harassment space. I think the technology solutions could be extraordinarily useful for the Australian setting, and it was pleasing to hear of the Commonwealth Bank initiatives. But the critical issue I'd be interested in, there's still so much fragmentation in the response, because everybody has maybe a single point solution on what could be possible. And the criticality in this issue is to connect all these things together in a coherent way. So I was interested in understanding in Israel, for example, is there a central 1-800 Respect, which is the phone line service which sends on to counselling? Because we've got to integrate some of the solutions to ensure that they're fit for purpose for the circumstance that women find themselves in.
And talk about the hotline, and when they call us, we transfer them to other places. She wants to know if there's one response to.
I just want to make sure you ask if there is one response for a victim of domestic violence, if there is one hotline. This is what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay, it's
Yes.
a good question. In Israel, okay, there is 118. This is the number of the government, of the welfare services, for if there's a domestic violence victim or their family or their best friend, and they have questions, they want to get consultants, they call 118. and it's the government welfare services, and there's an expert of domestic violence that can give consultation in all languages 24/7. If there is an emergency, of course, it's the police. In Israel, it's 100. I know in United States, it's 911. And beside this, there is more hotlines of NGOs, for example, for Arab women, for Haredi, religious women, and Michal Sela Forum. If they call us, they can get protection with K9 or security companies. But there is no one line that puts all the numbers together.
Yeah, thank you.
When we do campaigns, we call the publics, call 118 for the government, because there is the domestic violence expert in the other side, and they can give help anytime in any language.
Thank you. Well, I think that probably brings us to a conclusion. So thank you so much, Lili, for your time. Can I say that we've got a room? I don't know if you can see the whole room. See a whole room of women here. We are all with you very much in spirit for what you're doing, for all your activities, for what you've been through, and even what you're going through right now. And our heart reaches out to you, and we just have to wish you strength to keep going and keep doing, keep innovating, and keep fighting for all women. And you go with all our best wishes and love. I'm going to hand over to Michelle, who's going to say her own farewell to you.
I'm going to invite Julie to come in.
And Julie's to come.
Yeah, actually, why don't you just invite Julie to come?
Julie Hunter. I'm sure I will not get your right title.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry.
Very senior person here at CBA.
Thank you, Jill.
Who's been such a wonderful supporter of the chamber. Thank you, Julie.
Gillian, thank you so much. And look, I just wanted to begin by saying thank you all for joining us here this evening. It was a rainy Sydney evening, and it's turned into a fine Sydney evening. And it's wonderful to see so many friends, old friends, among the faces here this evening, as well as so many new ones as well. And we've all come here together this evening united by the objective to end gender-based violence. And that's an objective that's championed by the CBA and the AICC in support of the National Plan to End Violence Against Women and Children. And they've got the amazing objective of ending that within one generation. And I have to say, I feel privileged to work for the CBA, and Angela and your team, the work that you do is amazing and it really makes me proud. So thank you. Lili, I'm hoping Lili's still there, but if she is or she isn't, there was just a couple of observations. You are. Thank you, Lili. First of all, I just thought, if you were my daughter or a member of my family, I would be so proud of you. The second thing I wanted to say, Lili, was thank you for sharing the photo and some insight into your beautiful sister, Michal. It made me think about a photo that many of us saw in the paper and on the television screens a few weeks ago of another lovely young woman, Lily James. And I don't know about you, but whenever I see these pictures, I think about my daughter, my sisters, my friends, my nieces. And I think understanding that there is a person there that you can really relate to is so powerful. And as hard as that must be, Lili, thank you for sharing that. Most importantly, though, the reason why Lili was here was to call us to action. And she shared with us a number of very specific ways we can do that. There are things that we can get behind, and I would ask each and every one of you to think about whether you, your organisation, an organisation that you know, or a person that you know, can in some way support the things that Lili is doing here. And it's a fantastic reminder that we don't have to feel powerless. We can take action, and that can apply to absolutely any problem that we're facing. Lili, thank you so much. Our heart really does go out to you, and we do truly wish you all the very best. And we will be following closely how all of this goes, and we will stay involved.
Thank you so much. Together we can save lives. Thank you so much. I would love if you call us and we join hands together to collaborate and save lives of women that suffer from domestic violence. Zero femicide per year. This is the goal, zero femicide per year. Thank you.
And so the round of applause is important, but the greatest thanks we can give to Lili is by taking action in support of everything that she's trying to do. And I know that so many of you tonight, that's exactly what you want to do. Don't lose that feeling. I would also like to make a couple of comments on what is a very difficult situation, and Gillian, I thought, dealt with this incredibly well before, and I'm making these comments on my own behalf. Those of you and us who've had the opportunity and the privilege to walk through Yad Vashem carry a special responsibility to remind the world about the dangers of mistrust, misunderstanding, and hatred towards the Jewish community. Now, we can disagree with the